Hello, my name is James Flores and welcome to my channel. Before I begin with too much chatter, I'll play you a little piece by C.S. Lang, and it's not the tuba tune, but it is a fanfare. I'm going to click my fingers and we'll get over to it. Hope you enjoyed that fanfare by C.S. Lang, and the sample set is the Armley Schulze organ, and I recently upgraded this set as well. I'm all about upgrading sets at the moment, to the multi-channel 57 stop, the complete set, the extended set, in fact. I'm not sure if the original instrument has a tuba, but the enhanced set here on Hauptwerk does. And isn't it just a brilliant sound? And the surround sound, the surround sample sets really make a difference to the overall body of the instrument. I haven't played much with the Armley instrument. I'm not too familiar with what type of repertoire really works best on it. But now that I've got the surround variant, it might inspire me to do some more recordings on it. Anyway, the reason for today's video is to explain, go right closer, to explain the origin of this bear. And you've seen this bear, very cute bear, in a lot of my organ videos here at home. And the bear's name is Bernie Bear. Hi, my name is Bernie Bear. Please keep me happy by playing some music to me every day. See if you can read that. Can you see that? There we go. So its name is Bernie. And I think I have to go back to the beginning of my story before I can explain to you how this bear ended up on top of my organ. I started my Hauptwerk journey in 2013, and that happened to be the same year my first daughter was born. And it wasn't an easy birth. She was born at 28 weeks. For those who don't know, the full term is between 38 and 40 weeks. So she was severely premature. And I spent, I think 3 or 4 months in Melbourne with Lisa, my wife, and we were stuck in hospital accommodation and dealing with all of that and the uncertainties of life. But thanks be to God, Amelia, she's a healthy, happy girl at the moment. Let's hope it continues that way. And because I didn't have much time, I didn't have any facility to practice, I often went down to St Mary's, West Melbourne, St Mary's Star of the Sea, which has a beautiful organ in there. But of course, I can't always keep going there. So I ended up going to a music store and purchasing a single USB Alesis Q61 keyboard. And I remember this so fondly because I don't know, I guess those really big moments or really big things in your life, you tend to remember all the tiny little details. Yes, so I went to a music store and bought that, and I knew about Haltwerk, and I guess this was my chance because I was stuck in a hospital accommodation, and it was off. It was outside the hospital. It wasn't inside the hospital. So it was kind of like a little residential area, and I got a little keyboard stand, etc., etc. And I had my laptop, so I just loaded up Haltwerk. I think it was Haltwerk 3 back then. I can't remember, and I was stuck with the St Anne's Moseley. And if you're game enough, look back on my Contra Bombard account. My username is Contrabourdon, and you'll see that I was really fascinated with French classical music, especially by Clarambeau, Dandria, Guillain, and I was playing them on St Anne's Moseley. Not the right instrument, but I didn't have a choice. And maybe a few weeks later, I ended up buying another USB keyboard because you need two manuals, right, for it to be an organ. And then I could start to play my basta trumpets. It sounds so sad that I say that now. Getting excited over a basta trumpet. But, it was my way to stop thinking about all the unpredictability of that time in my life. And life is generally unpredictable anyway. So I don't know why I even mentioned that. Where was I going with that? Yeah, I ended up getting two manuals, and I got a stand that... Oh, I didn't have a stand. I had one keyboard stand, and I used a stool to hold the other keyboard. And I'll probably have some photos, and if there are photos, I'll overlay this on top of this video for you to see. And Lisa won't like this, but there was a point where I did bring one of the keyboards into the hospital room. I have no idea what I was thinking, but I remember very vividly I was carrying this 61 key MIDI keyboard up the hospital stairs into one of the hospital rooms. Yeah, it was crazy. I ended up practicing, but looking back on it now, that was ridiculous. But we all cope with things in different ways, and I guess turning to music, turning to practice was my way of distracting myself from the insecurities, and the insecurities, I'm lost for words tonight, the unpredictability of those moments in my life. And fast forward till, we got Amelia home, and I ended up getting my father-in-law, Lisa's dad, to build me a keyboard block to house these two USB MIDI keyboards. And he did a very fantastic job. I'm going to thank you, Jeff. Thank you again for that. You started my journey to Haltwerk. And it was jet black, and you'll see the image. I'll be talking over it now. And of course, needed pedals. Pedals is a very, very hard thing to find. And, we didn't have much money back then. I still don't have much money now. What am I talking about? It's hard to acquire MIDI pedal boards here in Australia. I don't know how easy it is anywhere else. But I ended up getting a Hammond XPK 200L. And I still think it's sad that I remember the model number. But it was a 20-note Hammond pedal board, straight sticks, whatever you call them, straight pedals, and it was just barely good enough to do heel and toe stuff. and it had a built-in expression pedal. So, 20 notes, I could practice some hymns, but, there was no chance of doing the F major Bach toccata or something like that. And I lived with that for, I don't know, a year or so, and I decided, look, it's time to upgrade. It's time to upgrade. And I was still stuck with the St. Anne's Moseley sample set. And I ended up finding this Alborn Galanti organ from a shop called Prestige Pianos in Melbourne. And this organ, it wasn't anything special. It was just an old console, but everything was built sturdily. Had 30-note pedal board, but it was straight and radiating, so there was no kind of radiating, no concave to the pedal board. So, but I guess in Europe that's quite normal, but for us Australians and Americans and people in the UK, they're used to concave pedal boards, so it still wasn't ideal. And by that point, I had given up on Hauptwerk. I got sick of St. Anne's. I didn't have money to purchase, Hauptwerk Advanced or whatever it was back then. There were less sample sets back in 2013. Piotr Grabowski's sets didn't exist back then. So it was a very expensive exercise to use Hauptwerk. So I just gave up on it, and I used the built-in sounds, and I quickly got tired of them. But it was just a practice instrument, and I went to the church to hear nice sounds. I probably did hook it up to Hauptwerk a little bit, just to muck around, because it did have MIDI. And I guess a few years later, I convinced Lisa, look, I need to spend X amount of dollars on a nice instrument that I will feel motivated to practice on. And that's when I acquired my Johannes Studio 170. And that was from Bernie's Musicland in Ringwood, Melbourne. And Johannes came at an very affordable price compared to the other instruments, other brands in the market, like Allen and what's the other one? Rogers, Roland. So I went with Johannes. Pedal board is RACO, radiating concave, 30 notes. And it's basically the same model as my Studio 370 over here, except this has got an extra manual, while I call it 370. And if you look at my very early Hauptwerk videos from end of 2019, 2020, beginning of 2020, you'll still see some videos on the Johannes Studio 170. And I did do some recordings on the native Johannes sounds there. But once I started using Hauptwerk again, I don't know what made me get into it exactly. Maybe possibly Richard McVeigh from Beauty and Sound. I can't remember. But I got back into Hauptwerk again. And I'm glad I did. Fully invested in it now. And as you know, of all the recordings on my channel. And in February 2020, I said to Lisa again, I want to upgrade. I'm using Hauptwerk. It's hard to load or play organs that have more than 2 or 3 manuals on a 2-manual organ. And maybe in a year, I'll have a 4-manual organ. Who knows? But Lisa, please do not watch this video, because I may want a 4-manual organ. There might not be any room in here. Might have to move house, but I think I need a 4-manual organ. Excuse me. Yes, so this bear is actually from Bernie's Musicland, and when they sold me that studio, Johannes Studio 170, I said, I want one of those bears, and I don't want to pay for it. I want it to be included with the organ. And of course, they gave it to me, and it's always been sitting on my organ since then. So that was a really, really long-winded story about this little bear, but I love it. I love it so much. It's part of my music room, and if you've seen Hector Oliveira, I think he has kind of a mascot as well. I think it's a green frog. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure the Hector Oliveira fans out there would be able to mention it. And did I have anything else to say? I have no idea. I am not going to edit this because I haven't got time. End of this week, I'm travelling to Bowral to give a organ and piano recital with Tom Summerfield, which you've seen on my channel. I'll leave a link down there, wherever it is, to his channel in the description, so you can follow him and stay up to date with all our organ and Hauptwerk journey. And yes, we are picking up some more parts for his Hauptwerk system. That'll be really exciting. I'll be making another vlog. It'll be very fun, meeting with some other organists in Sydney, some of which you'll know. Pep Organ, Titus Grenier. We got some fantastic content for you. And I'll also leave a link to Pep Organ in the video description. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. Can't wait for it. And if you'd like to support me and my channel, and for all the content that I bring out, I really appreciate it. All the money, all the donations I get will be invested back into this channel, as with everything I've already done. You know, I just received a few coffees yesterday, and I immediately upgraded my Armley sample set. And that's all I had to say. That was very anticlimactic. So until then, I may or may not upload another video before Bowral, but until then, I will catch you in my next video. Bye for now.